Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 1247 of What You Up To Now, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of businesses for 47 years, over a quarter century in corporate America, to the online world. 2017, after my divorce, found that I had the opportunity to do whatever I wanted, and I decided I was old enough that I could retire, but I had too much energy and I really didn't want to retire. I didn't want to just be done. Always been curious about the online world, and I thought, okay, I'm going to check this out. I'm going to figure it out. And here I am going on, 4 or 5 years later, it's not done yet. Still figuring it out, still deciding what is right for me, what's not right for me, what works, what doesn't work, who I can help, whose problems I can help solve, and sharing and documenting my journey along the way. Today, I did 2 daily posts. I do a daily challenge, an annual challenge. This year, it's all about doing one thing every day that centers me or centers you, from a little journal book I got up at the cabin last summer. And it was about coloring relaxes me today. Now, I used to love to color. Coloring was one of those things I would do usually with my daughter, and it relaxed me. I'd been in art in high school, always loved art, but didn't go down that road with respect to my career path or my areas of interest. And loved when they started to come out with all of these really cool, detail-oriented coloring books and different graphics and things that you could do. Well, I actually bought a couple early on when they first started coming out, and realized that if you need magnifying glasses to see anything, maybe coloring isn't so fun anymore. Maybe artistic things like that aren't for me. And so all I've done is move to a bigger medium. I do big sketch pads or canvases. I don't do other people's teeny tiny itsy bitsy designs with respect to coloring anything. I just keep it broad strokes, keep it colorful, just to have fun and unwind and relax me. So coloring relaxes me. It really, really does. Or doing something artistic or creative, or getting outdoors, going for a walk, thinking, reading a book or whatever, or listening to a book. Those type of things relax me. Each of us are different. So find something that relaxes you today and do it. I invite you to do it, even if it's just for 5 minutes, even if it's just for 2 minutes. It would probably take me a month to color anything like this with my magnifying glass, and it doesn't sound relaxing or de-stressing to me at all. It sounds like it would stress me out, and I'd go outside the lines, and that would frustrate me as well. Now, I am not a color inside the lines kind of person anyway. If you've ever seen me color, my older granddaughter laughs because she's like, oh, I love the way you color, because I just make up my own designs and lines and shading and coloring, and it's fun for me. Not so much anymore. Now she does most of the drawing, and I just hang it up around the house and smile about it. But that was our challenge today. Find something that relaxes you and do that, even if it's just for a short period of time. Our idiom for Supersize Your Business, every day in my Supersize Your Business group, I share an interesting idiom, and I take that idiom and I relate it to business. How could you use this to grow or supersize your business? I got to tell you, some of them are, don't do this to grow or supersize your business. If you want to grow and supersize and someday sell or leave your business to your kids, don't do this particular idiom. And I've had a few of those, and today's is both an off the books and on the books. I combined both together to talk about them. Now, if you want to sell your business someday, if you want to do what's right, if you want to follow the law, if you want to not get an IRS audit or in trouble if you ever get an IRS audit, do everything with respect to your business on the books. It means you're documenting everything and keeping track of and doing everything, keeping track of whatever you do, documenting your processes and procedures and things you do. A little pro tip, by the way. Businesses that have documented processes and procedures and systems in place and record keeping are those that are actually sellable. A lot of business owners find that when they go to sell their business, that they are not sellable. No one will buy them. They won't get a single offer on them because they don't have what they do written down. They don't have documented or written down, recorded on the books, processes, procedures, systems, how they do things, who does what, who's responsible for what. And if you want to sell your business and you're the one that knows all that, none of it's written down, guess what? Either you go with that business for probably an extended period of time while the new owners document everything and figure it out and then write it all down before they'll let you go, or you can't sell your business at all. And heaven forbid, should something happen to you. I remember when I had my sudden cardiac arrest, my ex-husband, who's now my ex-husband, he wasn't at the time, wanted to just put a note on the door of my manufacturing business and say, hey, Sharon's in the hospital, she had a cardiac arrest, don't know what's going to happen, we'll get back to you. And I'm like, I'm glad I wasn't awake because I would have blown a gasket. But my son stepped in and said, hey, we're not going to shut the business down. I've been working with Mom. I know what to do. She's got everything documented, recorded. The people know what to do. I can go in and manage the business for however long it takes till she gets back. Well, I liked his optimistic attitude because I wanted to come back too. And following and during that event, then the business didn't miss a beat because my son, who really was off at college and wasn't normally a day-to-day part of the business, knew that things were set up such that he could step in and he could manage things and run things and figure things out till we knew what was going on with me. What ended up being about a year before I could get back and help and do anything in that business. Between my sudden cardiac arrest, cardiac rehab, and then I had some eye challenges and had to have eye surgery, it was about a year by the time I got back and could really function in any capacity on my own. So it was a good thing that we had documented processes and procedures. So all of what we did for that business was on the books. It was all documented. Now, granted, it was a very highly regulated industry. The food industry is one of the most highly regulated in any area. You usually have municipal, local laws that govern it, or ordinances or rules. You have departments of agriculture in each state. You have the United States Department of Agriculture if you do any meat processing and sell across state lines, things like that. So we had lots of regulation, plus the FDA, because the FDA is in when you don't have meat products. So we had them, we had OSHA, we had, the government tax codes, IRS, everything. And so I learned early on in my business life from my dad, thank you, Einer, I totally appreciate it. Do everything on the books. Do as much on the books and document as much as you possibly can. So I'm thinking today, coloring outside the lines is a lot like doing things off the books, breaking the rules, not following the accepted guidelines and rules. And usually only do that if you want to save tax money, if you're doing something illegal that you don't want a record of, etc. So I say, if you want to have a business, if you want to grow a business, if you want to do it right, if you want a hope of ever selling it and actually cashing out and living passively on the passive income from that business that you generated over the years, then do everything on the books. Figure out how to do it right, how to do it on the books. And it's important to do things on the books, meaning keep a record of everything you do so that you learn, 5 years down the road, you forgot that you tried a certain thing or wanted to go down a certain path or road in your business and you looked into it, you actually tried or attempted it and it didn't work. You might have forgotten about that because we're doing so many things in our businesses and in our lives. If you've documented it, you've got a record of, okay, this is what we did, this is what worked, this is what didn't, this is why we abandoned it. And then you can say, okay, well, now times have changed. A lot of businesses 5 years ago wanted to do something online, but they never did. Well, COVID came last year, and the businesses that have and created, if they hadn't done it then, an online component are still viable and surviving, and many of them absolutely thriving beyond their wildest dreams today because they did it in the last year, but they hadn't done it, but they tried it before, or they didn't have time, or they didn't have the resources, and COVID-19 made it an essential activity. But if they had a record of what they did before or didn't do or why they didn't, that gives them something to go back and look at and say, okay, yep, tried that, this is why we abandoned it, but guess what? This is now our only option. We need to have an online component or we are going to be in big trouble. So off the books, on the books was our idiom today. I'm going to do one more day of book-related idioms because I decided for the month of June, since I was hanging out with my granddaughters, I needed to have topics ahead. So I actually brainstormed a couple of weeks ago before the kids' parents went to Alaska. What am I going to talk about? And since I was doing a book challenge with Avel Beckford, because I love challenges and I love Avel, I decided I would do, and I brainstormed and got a bunch of idioms about books, and so then every day I've been researching an idiom about books. So our last idiom about books will be tomorrow, and then that means today I have to come up with another topic. What do I want my next group of idioms to be about? Because instead of just randomly picking them out of a book again, which my sayings book isn't even here right now, because then I end up with duplicates and things. I think I've done probably 1,000 idioms by now. Now there's 25,000 just in the English language alone. So I'm not going to run out of idioms, and I like doing them. It's like improv or a mind puzzle for me. It keeps me thinking about and sharp and looking at things in a creative way and saying, how could this apply to my business? And maybe how could this even apply to my life? I've had a couple of interesting life lessons the last couple of weeks, and it's fun to take things that are unrelated to business and figure out how do they relate to business, whether it's relationships, confidence, communication, anything. Things happen in our everyday life all the time that help us in our business life, because we're learning lessons all the time from different sources, little things that we need to see that maybe other people don't need to see or figure out, but we need to have that epiphany or aha moment and say, oh my gosh, I see that I'm running this particular pattern. Anytime I get frustrated or stressed out, I get sleepy, I get avoidance, I get whatever. And we start to see these patterns in the other areas and aspects of our life. And then we say, oh, do I do that in my business? Light bulb. Oh my gosh, I do that in my business as well. Surprise. We tend to be consistent in all the areas of our life, not just in one or the other. So if you're super organized in one area of your life, you can be super organized in your business life. You can document and record all of your processes and procedures. So you can sell that business someday. Or you can find that if you're disorganized in your personal life, you may be disorganized in your business life. If you're a big picture thinker in most areas and aspects of your life, chances are you are a big picture, not detail-oriented person in your business life. That is a perfect example of me. I love the big picture stuff. As far as the day-to-day recording of things, accounting, that has to get farmed out because I know that I'm going to miss things. I learned that and was reminded of that when I was taking care of my granddaughters the last couple of weeks. There's an app on your phone now called Nara. It's a baby app where you can document your baby's sleep, your baby's eating, your baby, if you're breastfeeding, the time that you do that, and all the and diaper changes. And I know I missed a bunch of diaper changes and feedings and things, and I definitely didn't even try to track sleep. I actually kept a notebook, it's in my briefcase, during a big yellow pad that I just would write on sometimes the overview and notes about taking care of my 4-month-old granddaughter, because I knew I was going to forget to put some things into this app. And so that's an example of my personal life and relationships and taking care of the baby and documenting every single detailed action with respect to that was the same for my businesses. It is the same for my businesses. And I found that out early on in my life, before apps and cell phones even existed, that I was going to need to have people that would supplement and actually do the detailed pieces of certain aspects of the business, because number one, I didn't want to do them. Now, I can set up a system, an accounting system. I can set up any kind of system or process or procedure. I can see the big picture. I can set that up for anything and automate it. Or part of automating is hiring people to do things for us and getting things done, but realizing we don't have to be the person that actually does everything ourselves. So, thinking about that, thinking about and deciding what I want to do with the next Get Up and Go challenge. It's going to be August 1st. I keep telling myself that, even though August is still going to be really busy with my granddaughters. I will commit to doing it August 1st, mainly because I am missing doing it. I love doing it, and it keeps me on track with respect to my goals and my progress in each area and aspect of my life. It keeps me analyzing and paying attention to where am I, how am I doing, do I have the right automated processes and habits and rituals and systems in place to keep me moving toward my goals and objectives, even through the summer months, even through the holidays, even through the days when I don't really feel like it. Am I still doing my daily things that guarantee I'm going to get the results I want, because they're automatic. I just automate. It's like brushing your teeth or showering or fixing your hair. Like, that looks like a wig. Are those things automatic? And when they're automatic, I know I'm making progress even when it doesn't feel like I'm making progress. All right, any questions? Hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow, documenting and sharing what am I doing as I am transitioning from the brick and mortar world to the online world, and then back and forth again, because I am involved in a very cool project that might have something to do with the internet. It'll have an online component, but the majority of it will be offline. All right, have an awesome day. If I can help you in any way, if you need to ask somebody a question, you don't know who to ask me. I might not know the answer, but I guarantee I can help you get to the next step and the next thing you need to do, or hook you up with the right person that can help you do that. Have a great day, and I will be with you tomorrow.